What's up, YouTube? This is Jason of Auglitical. I swim through the politics and jump and dive throughout the relationship so you don't drown too. Now, do you guys remember when I was saying I have no pity for people who end up getting with somebody and they find out that that person does something when all the flags were there? This is the problem I have with a lot of people. I'm not gonna feel bad for a black person if he gets beaten up by I'm not gonna feel bad for a black or melanated individual if you get with someone and all the time that you was with that person, you was spotting you did not like black and melanated women, and this white woman beats your ass and calls you a nigga. I'm not. I don't think anybody should. It's fucked up. It happened. Move on. You shouldn't expect pity for that. I don't expect a white person to sit there and talk about they don't see racism or they don't see color X, Y, and Z, and their entire family is racist and they've been making excuses up until this point, until they either finally get it or they get exposed. There's no pity for that type of shit. There was a guy who was trying to get pity because the girl that he was with was fine shit, but she was racist and her family was racist. He even tried to tell a story. I don't know if I covered the video on the channel yet. He even tried to tell a story about how he went to a cookout, or white people don't got cookouts, but a gathering where they're all eating food and they're over there eating what is it? Fetty Alfredo, whatever the fuck it is, fettuccine, and all of that good shit. And they got him watermelon and chicken. And when he said, "I want some of the noodles," he goes, they told him, "Shut up. This is for you. This is for your kind." Yeah. So again, you know the red flags. It's obvious. And this is the thing that's so hilarious to me. I also got in trouble because I was doing videos in which I was laughing because I find it hilarious when you have white people and Chinese people or Asians or whatever the fuck it is, mostly Chinese, and they have a very parasitic relationship. And I called it out, and I wasn't the only one that called it out. You have Asians calling it out, right? And the thing that's so funny to me is, you know what? In the end of the video, I'm gonna see if I still have it. So at the end of the video, look at the little snippet because this shit blew my mind. Anyway, Francesca Hong describes having a half-white son as being in proximity to whiteness.
I wasn't always I wasn't I wasn't always aware of the struggles of other communities of color because for me assimilation always kind of took over, and so I did marry. My proximity to whiteness continues, right? I'm.
She can't even say she married a white man. You think that this just formed up all of a sudden? All of a sudden, her whole ideology just changed. Yeah, this woman's batshit crazy. So she married a white man, but now she's over here sprouting this woke shit. And apparently she's running for Wisconsin mayor or some crazy shit like this, right? And I know that that's Somaliland, but there's plenty of white people over there. But it gets worse.
My proximity to whiteness continues, right? I'm my son is biracial. He's half white and half Korean, and
so let me get this straight. So you don't like white people, but you let a white man bust his go-gurt up inside of you, raw. For that to happen, mind you, do you really think that a woman that is this manipulative, this power hungry, because let's be honest, she is career driven, right? Most women don't just decide that they want to become mayor, right? So she is career driven. You think that all of the tools, because here's the thing, we already know she subscribes to all of the fucking shit that brings to the downfall of the West, right? So feminism, she's down with that. That whole woke shit, she's down with that. She's gonna use any single thing that she can grift off of to get in the position where she wants to be. I wouldn't be surprised if she was a whole ass spy. Or if she could have been a whole ass spy. She knows somebody who's a whole ass spy. I would not be surprised. Well, I mean, it's Korea, right? That's more Chinese. But you get what the fuck I'm saying, right? You get what I'm saying here. You really think that this wasn't a measured decision to let that man nut inside of her and for her to have that kid? Not aborted, no nothing? Behind his back, no nothing? And now she over here complaining about whiteness? Man.
And I think navigating, what his identity is and how people perceive him is always at the back of my mind as well.
Crazy. Anti-white Franny Frowner also said she was also relieved her son looked more like his white father than her. When I see hateful rhetoric and discrimination against Asian Americans on the rise, I'm frustrated, deflated, and angry. The whitewashing, the erasure of stories, the imbalance of power is so overwhelming. I find myself feeling relieved my son looks less like me. What? That doesn't even make sense. So, okay. You made the choice to have a kid with a white person. And again, love who you love, but this is what I've been saying, that you have these parasitic ass fucking relationships with Asians and whites, right? Where for generations, Asians have been told to date a white person, specifically the women. The women have been told to date white men specifically. Don't date black men, right? You find a black guy with an Asian girl, that's an anomaly. That is an anomaly. I've seen it probably twice in my lifetime in the open. Like, oh shit, what the? You ever see Masingo? Before your file gets fucked up, like the MIB, they flash you with the fucking the pen, and you lose your memories. Shit fucked up my whole save file, right? But when it comes down to Asians and whites, and the funniest thing is, white guys be losing their shit when they see a white girl with any other race besides them because they feel like as though they should have access to every woman, but every woman. But the funniest thing is, right? You have white guys, right? Mostly these incels, right? Who they view Asian women on a higher level than white women because Asian women are more submissive, more what a wife should be, girlfriend should be. So they're willing to crash out even harder or chimp out like Chud the Builder is, like Chud the Builder does, for Asian girls. And Asian girls, the way that they see it, or the way that they've been told, the way that their grandparents or whatever told them, right, is hey, if you want to have the best features and you want your children to be pretty, you gotta date a white man for the best features. Do you know how fucked up that shit sounds? Yeah, they be some of the most racist people on the fucking planet. That's the reason why they're also the minorities, the model minority. I said it. I said it because it's true. And this is not racism. This is just being honest. And that's why when you have those Asian accounts that come forward and they're like, yo, this is fucking weird. You're dating a white guy for the sake of just dating a white guy. You don't like nothing about him. You can't even describe what he looks like among a pack of white people. You just went as quick as you can to date a white guy. Same thing with that white guys. White dudes will date an Asian girl, don't know shit about her, don't know anything about her looks, don't know anything really about her personality. They're just happy to be there. Anyway, I'm relieved my son looks less like me and more like his dad. One of the reasons I decided to run for office is because representation matters. Shifting away from tokenism and thinking from a power shift perspective is critical. I am honored, proud, and grateful to be running for office as a Korean American. This girl will say any fucking thing. And again, the funniest thing is, like I said, she hates white people. What's that saying? There's a saying. What is it? What is it? Activists in the streets, colonized in the streets. I mean, activists in the streets, colonized in the sheets, right? She chose that white man because at the end of the day, right? At the end of the day, all of those politics, all of that woke ideology goes right out the window. She's choosing what she believes is best to secure her future. That is why she chose to procreate with a white man. And now on the white guy's side, I'm just gonna sit here and say this: you spineless beta bitch. I hate saying bitch. You spineless beta bitch. How you gonna sit there and have a kid with a woman that's been like, and mind you, this wasn't something new. This wasn't something he just, oh shit, oh no, it was too late by the time I already had her pregnant. Or did she hide it from you? I doubt it. I heavily doubt it. I heavily doubt it because this has been since 2020. This is not new. Or maybe it is. For all I know, maybe it is. I just find it hilarious because you really don't know who you be fucking with. Or maybe you do and you just ignore the signs. I believe he ignored the signs. That's what I believe. I ate 2 bites of my kid's cheeseburger out of Culver's in Black River Falls and told him they ran out of ice cream. Mostly just because I wanted to leave because I was on the verge of an anxiety attack. Too many old white people who didn't think we spoke English. Bro, dog. So let me get this straight. You don't like white people. You're assuming shit about white people. You're lying to your kid. And you want to run for mayor of Wisconsin? Do you? What? Wisconsin, this is who you have running? Well, no, this was in the past. Did she win? Hold on. This was in the past. Hold the fuck up. If they say that she's the mayor, I'm going to laugh my ass off. I'm going to laugh my ass off. So she was already in politics. Hold on, dog. So Francesca Hong, born November 4th, 1988, is an American politician, former chief, and business owner who has imagine being a business owner. Imagine the type of business she was serving to people, especially white people that came into her business, who represented Wisconsin's 76th Assembly District and the Wisconsin State Assembly since 2021. She is a member of the Democratic Party and the Democratic Socialists of America. So we know what this is. Isn't it funny that all these people who want to shake and destroy the fabric of what America is by destabilizing it through Marxism and communism, they're all of the shit that they say, and they're all married to white men. I mean, of course, white men are also down with fucking anarchy and a lot of shit like this, right? That's why they make the rank and file of Antifa. But let's be fucking honest here. Don't you find it funny? AOC, white man. Ilhan Omar, white man. The whole 4 horsemen, white men, besides probably Rashida Tlaib, I'm not even sure, right? All white men. Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny? All democratic socialists. Anyway, so she ran for governor? All right, so she's a candidate for the Democratic primary for governor of Wisconsin. So she's been doing this shit. So this is probably her second time running, I'm guessing. So she had an anxiety attack just by being around old white people. Listen, old white people can be annoying, but if you're getting panic attacks around old white people, when you're in politics, you're going to be surrounded by old white people. You shouldn't, man. Anyway, like them crawdads says she's insane. An anxiety attack from being around old white people. I mean, what were they going to do to her? Give her some elderly racist stink eyes? Well, that's possible. And guess what? You keep it pushing. You keep it fucking pushing. That's what you do. Not everyone's going to fucking like you. That is a truth that maybe some people don't understand, but that is the truth. Not everyone's going to fucking like you by default. If you're not attractive, people are not going to like you. If you look funny to them, they're not going to like you. If you don't have a skin color, that's just how it is. I don't really understand her. Why be afraid of racist old white people and then marry a white guy at the end of the day? So she didn't just have a kid with him, she married him. Because she's playing the game. She's playing the game. Crazy. She doesn't know how to spell too. Don't look now, bitch, but Wisconsin has a fair amount of white people. If you can't even be around them, then maybe you shouldn't govern them. See, I find it funny, right? Because when I think of Wisconsin, I'm thinking of like cheese and like white people, right? Probably some of the nicest white people probably possible, right? And then I'm also thinking of like Somalians for some reason. I don't know. Did they drop a bunch of Somalians over there? I can't really remember exactly at the moment, but but again, you trying to be a governor for a place where you don't even like the fucking people? Again, if she could be a Chinese spy, if she was a Korean, I would think that she was a Chinese spy. Right? Check this out. Another video from her.
In the restaurant industry, when we're out of something, we say it's 86th. And I'd say it's about fucking time we 86 Trump. He represents the utter failure of our government to keep us safe from threats, both viral and.
I love this, right? So whenever you see them do stuff like this, I genuinely believe that she does believe that, because the thing is that she's playing all sides, but at the end of the day, she's still communist scum, right? As much as people hate Trump, he doesn't bow to that communist shit. Not at all. I know that you got people who they just want to blame the Jews, and then the funny thing is that you got the Arabs who are sitting in, they just want to destroy it. Let's be real here. I don't care. They want to destroy America. That's really what it is. Everybody's playing the long game against America. Let's be honest there, right? Free Palestine. No, we're not. I'm not stupid. I remember you dancing on the streets of 9/11. That October 11 shit. I mean, that October 7 shit. Sorry. Again, you do shit and then you're a cry bully. That's really what it is, right? I'm not sitting here vouching for no fucking Israel, but I'll be damned before I sit there and fucking back up terrorists, actual fucking terrorists, right? Both groups are bad, including America. But I'm America, baby, all day. That's the side I'm on, right? I want everybody to be safe. I want everybody to be okay. But at the end of the day, I'm American, right? The thing that's so crazy about it is that ultimately, there's going to be these moments that these politicians or activists are going to have real mass wolf moments, right? These accounts that claim to be, fighting the good fight and good people. And we see this. Whenever there's something big happening, you're going to see these people mask off, right? I believe that genuinely that's how she sees it. And again, they're willing to say and do anything to get power, right? Genuinely, that's how she feels. That's how Francesca Hong feels. Now, that's how white people see it, right? But black people look at it differently, right? And this is the funny thing, because you got to take the perspective of a white person, and then you got to take the perspective of a black person, and you got to read between the lines there, right? To really get to the essence of what's really going down, right? So a person says, TDHBXD Vox, are you even real, dog? Do you come from Africa? Okay, just making sure. Sorry, I'm on an African band. I don't trust accounts. Anyway, I just don't, right? Every account that pushes engagement slop, I always have to double check. They are just slop merchants. Anyway, this type of woman of color will never admit it, but in her mind, that white child is her single greatest achievement. Of course it is. Of course it is. She's playing the game, but again, that shit that was instilled on her when she came to America, before she was in America, if she wasn't born here, right? Or her parents, what is it? Isn't Korea the plastic surgery capital of the world? I believe it is. They view whiteness, right? They view whiteness as the highest fucking order of what you can be. There's a reason why they do the plastic surgery, or they do the skin whitening and all of that shit. Yes. Even some of their bands, they treat their most talented dancers, singers, artists who may be darker skinned poorly just because they're darker skinned. Even though their entire goddamn culture is built around a black American man. Yes, we're talking about K-pop, which is hilarious, because if K-pop failed, everybody's paycheck in Korea would go in the fucking shitter. If K-pop wasn't doing good a year, everybody's paycheck is getting fucked up. That's how it's fucking hilarious. Anyway, let's look at these comments. So Hampton to the Bone says, white people are interpreting this as her hating her white husband and half-white child. Laughing my ass off. She believes whites are superior, and this video is her trying to compensate for it through social justice. Yep, says Jim. She doesn't hate them for being white. She resents that she isn't white too. Nordic Black Pill says, exactly. One thing black people are much better at than white people is reading between the lines. Listen, if she was white, I guarantee you she would push all of the same shit. Still would be married to a white man. Still would have a white. Which again, This is why nobody should be listening to anybody trying to tell you who to love or who not to love. Because at the end of the day, they're all full of shit. They're all full of shit. They're all full of shit. Right? They're all full of shit. You got, again, you got dudes who are going around trying to tell other men how they're more sought after, and the girl that they consider their queen has been ran through by the worst of the group that they don't like. Consistently. These same girls who will spout the same hateful, divisive rhetoric, and then once they're done with that, let me put it to I'm gonna just simply put it to you like this. By default, white men are the default. 100%. White men are the default. And it's not because of that the girls love them, it is for stability. If Indian men right now, I don't know, like, because Indian men tend to make more money, but if they were more in the open about the money that they have or whatever like that, and probably make themselves more accessible and I don't know, I guess put themselves out there more, those same women would seek out Indian men. It is about I didn't say they love them. I didn't say that. It is about stability. That's all it is. That's all it is. It's about stability. Let's keep going. Eric says she'll brag joke about it with her friends, but act like it's a handicap in public to win social justice points. The real question is, how is there still a market for this sort of grift in the big 2026, says Rain? Or better yet, how did she get this far in her career with people believing her bullshit? I know for a fact her community knows exactly who she is. I cannot pronounce that. That name is fucking crazy. Where are you from, shorty? Oh, you're not even, you okay. She says, I think she agreed to have proximity to whiteness when she had sex with the father. Just saying. Radical in the streets, colonized in the sheets. Well, that was before she decided she was going to run for office and try to get the votes from a bunch of leftist socialists who are inherently racist towards white. I'm going to keep it a buck with you, dog. She doesn't need to do shit for socialists to vote for her. Communists are going to vote for the communist, just like the retards who vote blue no matter who types, right? You don't gotta do shit. As long as you're good with the group, the party will lie, cheat, and steal, and their people are fucking puppets. They're gonna vote for her regardless. She doesn't have to do shit but say she's a democratic socialist. I mean, of course, she can show things here and there, right? But she don't gotta do shit. It's just like Zoran Mandami in New York, right? He said he was a communist. All of the educated white kids, all of the fucking plants who weren't here during 9/11, right? All of the New Yorkers that came in after 9/11, all these fucking kids who came from these other places, all these immigrants who came into New York, all voted for Mandami. Were you there for that video I did? I think it was called Good Night, Good Luck, New York City. And there was this fucking girl who posted, she posted that she has anxiety attacks walking the street at night, X, Y, and Z, and yet she's going on trips with her friends on the ocean, which again, that's not normal Black American shit. She wasn't Black American. She was like Indian or Arab or some shit. And, she's living, like, mind you, rich. And she's in New York, and she's saying that she has anxiety attacks, and she's going on these fucking trips doing drugs with her friends and all of this shit, right? Rich girl, stupid shit, right? And she's saying she's afraid to walk the street at night. She voted for Mandami, though. Right? Because it overwrites their fucking brain. These are the same women that'll sit there and be like, oh, I'm so scared to walk the street. I'm so glad I signed the bill to allow criminals on the street again. I'm so glad we got rid of prisons. I feel like a good person. Everyone is focused on, Jill Flippick says, everyone is focused on what she said about her kid, but you're all sleeping on the part where she says, I did marry her, and then move on. Yeah, because this is the thing. to the people that she's trying to placate herself to, anything white is wrong. That's really what it is. That's really what it is. And it's whatever. No one cares. If they elect this fucking woman, we already see New York has fallen. If they elect this woman, I believe Wisconsin is where you had that Schilling Hendricks bullshit going down. I could be wrong. Listen to me, dog. We are in a fucked up position. It's only going to get worse. I'll catch you guys later. Peace. The funniest thing about this is people who are not too far in the deep pool or people who are just aware of what's happening. You have idiots that'll be sitting there. They're like, oh, wow, look, all these great things are coming. All these great things are being promised. We finally can have our utopia, our autonomous zones and all of this. And normal people like me will be sitting like, no, that's a fucking train coming. And we're in the fucking way. We're about to get obliterated. The funniest thing is anybody who's normal will see this type of thing and they'll just know by pattern recognition a democratic socialist is a terrible thing in the United States in any capacity. You will see these red flags that this woman has, that any of these other batshit crazy politicians on either sides have, or extremists on either side, and you will sit there and say, this is a problem. And then on the other side, there's going to be people rooting for them. And there's going to be stupid people rooting for them. And you would think, hey, if she truly hates white people, maybe it's okay to be a little tribalistic against her. Right? Maybe if she truly talks about her child and her husband the way that she does, and she preaches all this woke shit, and the area is predominantly white or black or just American, her preaching the shit that she's preaching, which is anti-American. Let's be real here. Black and white is American, right? We're interwoven with each other. Maybe, just maybe, we should not even give this fucking woman a chance. And then you'll have white women over here like this.
He was elected the next mayor of New York City. Here in Wisconsin, we have our own Democratic Socialist running for governor. Meet State Representative Francesca Hung. Take a listen. You've previously described the Tavern League as corrupt, crooked, the C word.
Look at this crazy fucking woman. Do you see how you see her eyes? This woman is wicked. This woman is evil. And this person over here is sitting here glazing them. Because again, like I said, it does not matter anything she does. As long as they move the goalposts even an inch, they are fine with it. They don't mind who's the one pushing the message. They don't care about that. As long as they get their people in, they can continue to get their people in. And if it has to be a white person, fine. If it has to be an Asian person, fine. If it's a black person, bonus points, right? If it's any person pushing their bullshit, they are okay with it. They don't matter if they barely win. They don't matter if the person's not liked. They don't matter if they fulfill any actual promises to help the people, because ultimately, it was never about helping the people.
Your chief of staff previously tweeted, F your statues after destructive protests toppled a few at the Capitol. Do you stand by those comments today?
It's important to speak truth to power and recognize that when...
Speak truth to power. Yo, she hates white people. 80% of the people in Wisconsin wake up, a commie running your state. Listen, I get it, white people. You don't like when you're on the fucking chopping block, right? I'm going to be fair, right? I'm going to be 100 with you. I'm black and I don't want her fucking running because I can already tell she's a fucking problem, right? No political person should be running in any capacity and genuinely have hate for people, right? Again, there are some people, for example, I don't hate people who are bi or trans or whatever like that. I may not like what you do, but I'm not going to sit here and fucking do horrible things towards you by default based on your sexuality. You can fuck, suck, circle jerk, whatever. I do not hate people who are Muslim. I am aware of the shit that can happen from radical Islam, but they're not all evil. I don't hate fucking white people. I don't hate black people, but both of y'all do stupid shit. I don't hate Spanish people, even though I do know there are some Spanish people out there, or should I say every other group that's not Black American, that for some reason have been beaten into submission by white supremacists. that they want to be close to white people, or they want to be accepted as white people, even though that'll never happen by white racists, right? But again, I will never sit there and fucking hinder or sit there and attack a group of fucking people that have not done any wrong to me. It makes no fucking sense. This woman, her stance is to get in. She's anti-white. That was her whole stance, right? Now, she may pretend that she's not these things, but when it comes down to appeasing the ones that she wants to be approved by to get in, she's going to do that. Over here, mind you, she wants to run for fucking governor. And the crazy thing is, in a better world, she would have absolutely no fucking chance. In a better America, she would have no chance. But we done sat here and we let the goofies and the fucking extremists get so far into politics, so far into our media, so far into everything that we digest day by day, our schools, our churches, our hospitals, our entertainment, that they are destroying the fabric of what makes us us, not just us, the world. Because this is also happening also over in England, in London, in the UK. It's already happened over there.
When you fight power, power fights you back. And sometimes you have to engage in a way that expresses your feelings and shows that you're willing to fight.
How would you plan to?
So yes, you support the fucking people pulling down statues that probably have some type of historical meaning to the place of Westchester, which is very fucking funny to me because these people will destroy your history if they can't retrofit it to use it for their ideology. They do not care about the veterans that fought for the United States. They do not care about the history of how Wisconsin became Wisconsin. They will melt down your statues and then blame you for it. This is what they do. Looking at the comments here, communists. Wow, another communist bitch. That was a Kamala word salad. Yes, it was. Yes, the fuck it was. They're politicians through and through.
Work across the aisle to get things done.
I've worked across the aisle and worked to pass legislation, including Asian American education for K-12 public schools.
Yeah, that's not across the aisle. That's you furthering shit for Asians. That has absolutely nothing to do with being across the aisle. That's not across. If I sat there and said, yeah, you know, I push some shit for black people, that's just pushing shit for black people. If I said, oh, I pass some shit for white people, that's just pushing shit for white people. Across the aisle mean, are you willing to actually put politics aside and your political beliefs to actually do what's right for the country? That has absolutely nothing to do with Asians, but we already know Asians stick together. Every group sticks together. Every group but black Americans stick together. And that's why people are so fucking scared when black people move, because when we move, not Africans, not Caribbeans, when black Americans move, we shake the fucking world. And people hate that shit. They hate that that's the truth. That's the reason why when ICE was doing the shit that ICE was doing, they were trying to get black Americans in the mix because they know that without us in the mix, they ain't got no motion. The Hispanics was sitting there trying to play like as though they didn't need black people in the beginning, but though that history of theirs, when they sitting there and at first they tried to puff out their chest, talk about we was always there for you, we always had your back. Bullshit. However, the funny thing is they tried to show their ass right after, and then they started crying about it because they realized black Americans sat the fuck down. We didn't do anything. We stayed home as we should have. And you know what? Even with BLM, most black people in a movement that was pseudo for us, but was never for black Americans, right? It was a Marxist fucking movement, right? Most black Americans weren't out there. You know who was the ones getting bussed across state lines? White people. Who was the one who majorly made up those ranks of fucking BLM? And then they turn around and they go in the back of the crowd and put on some hoodies and now they're Antifa because they're two sides of the same coin? White people. What ended up happening? They needed black Americans for any type of movement. They always need black Americans. So her sitting here talking about she worked across the aisle. She's not answering anything. And if this lady was anything of a interviewer, a proper interviewer, she would actually say, you know, stop her from doing that. But of course she's not, because her whole goal, the lady's goal, is to get her to be seen as likable.
It's centering the people of Wisconsin and what they need is oftentimes how you can build some relationships and common ground.
You don't like the white people there. If the population of white people is over 70%, how is that going to work? How is that going to work? How is that going to work?
Pass progressive legislation.
If you want to hear more from our conversation, I'll comment the link down below. I'll see you with the next candidate.
Get the fuck out of here. But that's what they do. They're very good at PR. They're very good at impressions for young minds, or for stupid people that don't know no better, who thinks that all these fake generated AI videos on Facebook are real. And that's how they get your grandparents. That's how they get your parents. That's how they get these young idiots. Anyway, for real this time, I'll catch you next time. Peace.